Hi guys, this is a quick part 2 to my previous Sky Q video. This time we're looking at one of the multi-boxes. So as you can see, the interface is the same as on my last video, which was on the main box. You've got the same features, so you've got TV guides. You can sort it again by everything you can downstairs. Everything is exactly the same, so I won't really go into as much detail. What I will talk to you about is a couple of things I've noticed since last time. A couple of things I said slightly wrong in my first video. So if you go into recordings, you can obviously set the box to record from any of the boxes, but everything is stored on the downstairs box. So what you end up with, whatever box you're viewing on, you just see all your recordings. So that doesn't bother me too much, but it might be annoying for some. For example, normally on my old box downstairs we had all the Disney films and the things my missus watched, and upstairs we had the action, but now everything is on one box, so it can clutter up a little bit quicker. I think we've actually ended up with less space than we had before, because we had the 2TB Sky Plus box and a standard terabyte Sky box. Now our total recording space is just the 2TB, so it will still take a while to fill up. But it can be quite annoying. And what else? The MyQ system. If you go into For You, this is actually the part where it suggests things for you to watch. New series, I think, just tells you about new series. I don't think these are suggestions for me, because nothing on here is something I would watch. So I think that's just a kind of a generic section to tell you about what's happening. And then the continue section this is where the bit you see in the adverts comes into play. So again, if you see the little blue bar underneath the picture, it tells you how far into something you are. So the idea of this is, again, if you pause it on one channel, it will appear on your other boxes and on your iPad and that sort of thing in the MyQ section under continue, so you can then continue from where you left off. Now we'll try that in a bit. There was something else I wanted to show you, but I can't remember what it was now. Anyway, it's not important if I can't remember. But yeah, generally the box works exactly the same as the previous ones. You've got all the same features as you do on the other one. You've got the little picture-in-picture thing that pops up. Interestingly, these boxes, I think they have 8 tuners in total. So what that means is you can record 4 things at the same time and watch a fifth on these ones, a fifth that you've recorded, that is. So you can be recording 4 things and watch a fifth. Interestingly though, with the 8 tuners, what that means is, if you have, for example, I've got 2 multi-boxes. I've got the one in this room, I've got one next door. If I was to put a third anywhere in the house, you can only watch 2 at a time. So, I mean, for us that wouldn't be a big issue, because if we had a third put in, it would just be in the back reception. And it's very unlikely someone would be in both the bedrooms and the back reception trying to watch TV at the same time. But something to consider if you've got a multi-box subscription currently, and you're actually using free multi-boxes, you'll be able to get them still. And the benefit of the Sky Q package is the boxes only have a one-off cost, so you don't pay an extra monthly subscription. They're just a one-off £99, and I think you can order more at any time. You do have to give them back to Sky if you ever leave, interestingly. I was reading through the terms and conditions the other day, and these boxes aren't like the old ones. These boxes, they say, are leased to you for the duration of your service, your contract with Sky, but you are required to hand them back at the end. So all these massive upfront costs that you're seeing if you've tried to upgrade, you don't actually get to keep the box out of it. It doesn't matter at the end of the day because a Sky box without a Sky subscription is pretty useless anyway. They tend to get about £20–30 at boot sale, interestingly enough, but that's about the only use they have. But yeah, what else was I going to tell you? I should really write a list before I start making these videos, shouldn't I? Right, so let's do a quick test. You're going to have to bear with the shaky camera whilst we do this, because I'm going to try and do this on my lap. Let's see how that goes. So, what we're going to do, we're going to pause live TV. We're currently watching channel 1. We're going to pause on a very beautiful Nicola Sturgeon. And then we're going to go onto the app and we're going to try out the Sky Q app. So this is Sky Q. Very similar layout again, TV guides, browse around, sorted by channel, catch up TV, blah blah blah. And you've got a section called On My iPad. Obviously this hasn't got anything at the moment. Find recordings. So yeah, you can look at all your current recordings that's linked on your box. And I assume if you press one, we go for, not for Frozen, we go for Frozen Fever because that's relatively short. I assume it starts to download it or stream it, whatever, whichever.
We offer free, impartial guidance on your own.
That's nice.
Pan 10. Yep. Sisters Anna and Elsa have always lived with a secret.
It's all set.
Oh, what are you doing?
Top right.
Actually, only about 10 minutes long. Right, anyway, so more importantly, let's see how this works out. So if you go to My Queue, nothing is there. Great. So it didn't work at all. Maybe, I'll tell you what we'll try. Let's close the iPad app altogether. We've paused the box. Let's turn the box off and see if that makes a difference. And then go to My Queue. No? Okay, well, it didn't like that then, did it? It didn't like us pausing live TV to then try and go and watch it somewhere else.
It's a deficit. The UK is in deficit. Scotland is.
Or did it? No, she's still ranting on.
In deficit. This
Scottish
idea
deficit's
that
twice as big, First Minister.
I have
It's
every
twice
acceptance.
as big.
But let me. Well, in 2008-9, the UK's deficit was twice as big as Scotland's. It will vary from year to year. But in terms of the point about per capita spending, there are very good reasons, as anybody who knows Scotland well as you certainly do, for the.
Right, I'll tell you what. That didn't seem to work very well with live TV. Let's try it with a show. So if we go on the main box and we select a recording, let's start watching Practical Jokers. That's all of it. Blah 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 blah. Right. So where are we? We're about a quarter of the way in. Okay, well, not quite a quarter, but you know what I mean. So, a quarter of the way in. Blah, blah, blah. We stop our show. If we look in the menu quickly on the box, if you go to My Queue, it should be there now. So that's appeared there. So let's test that on the Sky Q app. Well, I don't know if this answers any questions that you may be having about how good is the communication from box to box, but not the best by the looks of it. So in their advert where they pause on live TV and then go straight onto the iPad, doesn't look like that happens yet. There must be some sort of delay. Yeah, I mean, you're seeing what I'm seeing, guys. We're doing some tests here and it's not faring too well. I mean, to me, it doesn't bother me. It's not really a feature I'm ever going to need, to pause on live TV and then desperately need to watch it on my iPad 10 seconds later. But to some people, and considering that's what their whole advertising campaign is based on, not a very good thing, is it? Anyway, that'll do for part 2. Again, not really much. Other than this, the boxes have been working really well. I haven't had any real complaints. So yeah, any more questions, feel free to post in the comments. Bye. Okay guys, one quick thing I'm just adding, because I forgot to put it. It was just to show you the size of the multi-boxes. So that's the multi-box. Absolutely tiny. And that underneath it is the old Sky Plus box. And the PS4 underneath that for comparison. So yeah, as you can see, the new multi-boxes are pretty small. They plug in anywhere. They don't connect to the satellite like the old ones do. They're literally a power cable and an HDMI cable that goes into the TV. So they're completely plug and play. You no longer need to connect each individual one to a satellite. They're all completely wireless. So that is a plus. It's also the reason why Sky now doesn't charge you for the multi-box subscription, because it's literally just an extra box that they lend you. Yeah, any questions, feel free to comment.